Hello and welcome to Account of Stewardship. Now this is the program that will profile and x-ray our leaders and put them on the spot. Today on the program I have a multi-talented guest. He's a journalist, a filmmaker, a politician, a businessman. He's also chairman of APC, United States of America, a monarch in his home state of Ondo State. Please welcome Professor Balofin.
Thank you.
You're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
Professor Ajibolu Balofin is a Nigerian academic and politician. He had his early education at the St. Michael's School, Constitution Road, Kaduna, after which he was admitted into the Anglican Grammar School, Igbaraoke, in Ondo State, for his secondary education. He then proceeded to the University of Lagos, where he bagged a bachelor's degree in mass communication in 1989. Professor Balofin has several postgraduate degrees, including 2 doctorates from other universities in Nigeria and the United States of America. A consummate teacher, Professor Balofin has taught communication at different universities for decades and qualifies to be described as a multidisciplinary expert. That is because he also holds a master's degree in business administration and a doctorate in health administration. His teaching specialization spans public relations and advertising, human communication, organizational communication, as well as communication theory and philosophy. He also teaches broadcast journalism, new information and communication technologies, as well as electronic media production and management, among other areas of specialization. Professor Balofin is a serial author. His latest book, titled Resetting the Strategic Foundation of Nigeria, 365 Days of Bola Tinubu's Presidency, which was co-authored with Bolu Folanyo, was launched in May 2024. The book, which is about the Tinubu Triumph Theory and the Renewed Hope Agenda, took 1 year to put together. The book and all his other books can be accessed on Amazon. He also has several papers on various topics in communication, published in renowned international journals. Professor Balofin is also quite politically active and has contested for various elective offices in his native Ondo State. For instance, he sought the governorship ticket of the Alliance for Democracy AD in 1998 and 2003. He currently serves as the chairman of the ruling All Progressives Congress USA, and he is the Director, Innovative Campaign and Development of the Committee of Diaspora Chairmen. Professor Balofin is a staunch party man who is committed to the principles of good governance, transparency and accountability in public service. He is eager to contribute his expertise and experience to support efficient functioning of government to help drive positive change in Nigeria.
So let me start with your journalism. Can you give us a summary of your journalistic journey?
My road to journalism is not by mistake. It comes with me from heaven. As a very young boy, I tend to be communicating very clearly. I discovered a talent. It is what we call Ewi rendition. I try to mimic Olanrewaju Adepoju and Olatubosun. Okay. And from there I developed my own style. Then I was attracted to Radio Nigeria in Kaduna when I started participating in radio. I started reading the news and then later on graduated to reading news on television, and I speak 21 languages only.
Wow.
And I try as much as possible to specialize in 3: English, Yoruba, Hausa and Igbo. I would say that I started this Nollywood that we're talking about because
before living in bondage.
Yeah, before all that. But the way we roll at that time, produce independently, edit independently, and get sponsorship to air on television. And then that's how that started. By the time Nollywood started producing independently, I have been in the United States. And apart from the broadcast journalism. I combined both broadcast and print. And the reason is that when I produced a documentary on Delegiwa, and that became very controversial, and my journey to the United States is not to stay at that time, but as a result of the outburst of the controversy that surrounded the documentary, gave me the opportunity to stay there. And journalism in that country is not what is obtainable with the type of journalism that we practice here. So I ventured into print journalism, and I started a newspaper. As a matter of fact, started as a magazine, and then later on started doing a newspaper that represents the African community in the United States. The way journalism is structured over there is departmentalized into communities. And then I was able to bring my training to practice, because I studied mass communication at the University of Lagos, and they taught us everything. Thanks to Professor Igbuaja of late memory, thanks to Professor Onwaneli, Professor Bubo, Professor Raf Akinfeleye, Professor Tunji Dare, mentioning those that groomed me in journalism.
Okay, I'm sure you will have a long list of that one.
It's not complete if I don't mention Dr. Delu Mwadi, who taught us about the ethics of journalism, which is very essential. It's a guiding principle. The way journalism is these days, is not guided. And the way we run our production back in the days, we make money, by producing independently, go get Clever Brothers to sponsor it, so we have it on, NTA, and then we're so lucky then the states government started, channels, so we're able to run quite a bit. Moving from NTA Akure, I ended up into NTA Lagos. I was in programs directorate under Lai Arasomi, also of late memory. Dr. Ezeokole was also the director, I believe, at that time, Victoria. Not sure if I remember vividly. I still remember Soji Oyison, and programs directorate, and that was when we started. I was privileged to be part of a soap then. I believe it was, what is the title of the soap?
It's a long time ago.
Yeah, I think that was the last that I did before the Delegiwa documentary that took me out of the country, but I couldn't come back because...
so you were in exile for some time?
Babangida was looking for me. You release that thing, you're in trouble. So I decided to stay back.
And you now went into business, or...?
I was running my own newspaper.
Because I want to hear the business part of what you do.
Yeah, it was very tough at the point, but because of the community strategizing of corporate America brought us into limelight, because at the point they were looking for us. Why? They want to reach out to the African communities. How do you get across to the African communities? So they have to come to us. So we decided that we use our style of journalism to market their products and to able to promote their brands.
So you were making the money in dollars?
Well, that's where I am, I guess. Actually, I was not only doing it in dollars, because I started as a magazine, so it was an international in nature, because we also distribute to Nigeria, distribute to the United Kingdom.
So before the advent of the internet?
Long before the advent of the internet. So we were doing very well. We had distribution in Nigeria, had distribution in the United Kingdom, Amsterdam, Canada, and it travels wide from California to New York to Massachusetts.
Wow.
So it runs, across international, market. So we're able to do very well until print journalism nosedive with the advent of the internet. So surviving of print journalism is dead or dying, except few that run, few print run, and not as much as it used to be.
Okay.
And not only that, my journalism grew into the academics.
Yes, I noticed you have 5 masters, 3 doctorates. What's this quest for knowledge? What were you searching for?
I had the opportunity to study masters, and it was a combined honors in business administration. So if I can buy 1 get 2,
why not?
Why not? So it's a combination of a MBA and PhD in business administration.
Okay.
So I decided to do it. So teaching at the College of New Rochelle at the Rosa Parks campus in New York. My interest is to teach journalism, but I couldn't because the regulation is that you need to have your PhD.
Okay.
For you to teach journalism, and I didn't have a master's in journalism. I only had MBA. So I decided to go back and do the master's and PhD in journalism, mass communication. And the 3rd PhD is in health administration. So that was the direction where people are going. So I decided, I've written a lot of high impact articles and high impact journals are published, and the area of interest is in the area of healthcare. Okay. So I had the opportunity to study more and research more in health. This year alone I've written 4 books. Wow. And 3 in journalism and 1 in healthcare, and the book sold out, and a lot of consultants bought the book.
Prof, let me put you on a pause. We'll go on a short break and we'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Account of Stewardship, and we have on the hot seat Professor Tai Balofin. Recently you launched a publication, 365 Days of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. Why was that necessary, and what motivated you?
The mistake that a lot of people make is that when you write something about the president of your country, a lot of people look at it as a PR or promoting, that person. And going through the review of the book by Professor Olaleko Akashoro, a renowned professor of note, also discovered that it wasn't about PR, but it's about an appraisal of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu from the academic perspective. We have seen a lot of political science books that never looked into the Nigerian perspective, and that's why the theory of Ahmed Bola Tinubu's TTT triumphant theory to describe his victory, and we look at the applicability of that theory to political science. So it talks about his victory, what he did right with the media and political strategy, and what the opponents did wrong, and how he was able to use his political strategy to support candidates who actually won an election. So the book is about 10-chapter book. It was written from the perspective, from the academic point of view, to open students understanding about the politics of Nigeria. If we don't blow our trumpet, we will.
That brings me to the next question. It's 365 days plus, and there's been a massive protest against his policies, the policies of the president. There's anti-people, there's hunger in the land. What's your take on the protest?
I think it's very important that people come out and vent. The policies of government somehow may have affected some people, agreed. But you have to look at it that is a problem that has been in existence for a very long time. The same problem we went through during the Obasanjo's administration, the same problem was inherited by same problem existed during President Goodluck Jonathan, the same problem during President Muhammadu Buhari. So President Tinubu is there. So it's a long, and you expect him to solve it in 1 year? It's impossible. It's not a magician. And let me also tell you, the problem in Nigeria is not about the leadership per se. They have a role to play, don't get me wrong. But it's the system. Take Abacha or whichever administration you think is the poorest in Nigeria. Take that administration to the United States. It's going to run it by the system. So we have to look at it and balance it. You're talking about bad governance. What about bad citizenship? I must tell you, bad citizenship constitutes a lot to the problem of Nigeria. How? I'll give you 3 examples. Nigeria is where corruption is institutionalized, where even our younger ones believe that is the right thing to do. Our ways of life. We have to start from there. Someone works, in a government agency, the income is 150,000. He was about to be promoted, he refused. Then they investigated why. You were offered a promotion and you don't want it. And then they discovered he was actually making about 1.5 million every day.
On that seat.
On that seat. That was when they discovered that. So imagine what is going on and if you ask him, he believes he's doing the right thing. So it's rotten. You'll be looking at me now. If you're looking at me, Professor, but I gave a proposal that will solve the problem of the people. And solving the problem is also departmentalized into various sectors. The youth, senior citizen, women, the less privileged. It's a public assistant welfare system that needs to be under the presidency because bureaucracy will kill it. It's been operated in the United States, it's been operated in the United Kingdom, it's been operated in Canada, operated in Australia, operated in other countries effectively. And majority of those that run that program in those countries are Nigerians. So why can't we implement it here? I gave the same proposal to President Yaradua, and this was handed over to Kingibe. Was it implemented? No. I'm not sure they even read it. I didn't have the privilege to give President Jonathan, but I was privileged to also give President Buhari. I handed it over to him. I gave him an award in the United States and personally handed it over to him. I'm not sure they read it. So when you say government is bad, it's not outrightly bad because you have to place it on equilibrium on what is doing right, on what is doing wrong. So you cannot totally condemn President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I love his policies because it means well for the country. And I think we should give him time, and people will have a better understanding. I hear some people saying remove oil subsidy, as if when they remove the oil subsidy today, so that will solve the problem of Nigeria. No. Was there any subsidy in the first place?
We shall ask you.
Who are the beneficiaries? Nigerian people don't even benefit from this subsidy we are talking about. It's just few people that are beneficiaries. So let's cancel or let's, remove this subsidy, and whatever it is that they are spending on this subsidy should be used
Okay.
to take care of the people. That aspect is where President Bola Ahmed Tinubu needs to work. They are doing it in a way, but they are doing it in the wrong way.
Okay, so what's the right way to do it?
The right way to do it is to set it up independently and hire the best hand and go through proper training. And there must be trainers, a workshop. They will train and retrain and let them really understand the rudiments, how to operationalize the system. But I see pockets of implementation here and there. Here, let's go and give some people 50,000, 20,000. That's not the way it is. It must be structured properly. I still have it, but at an appropriate time, I'm not going to give a third party. If I meet the president today, I'll hand it over to him. But it has to be explained, because sometimes when you draw up a proposal, somebody else picks it up, dusts it up. By the time they implement it, they have no clue what you're talking about, because they don't have the basic fundamental principles.
Okay. You have an investment summit coming up in September. Can you brief us on what the summit is about and what it's meant to achieve?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's been my passion for Nigeria to grow. And I see that federal allocation alone cannot solve the problem of Nigeria. It has to be backed up by investors that are willing to invest. When President Tinubu came in, we tried to bring in investors that handles portfolio. I looked at the portfolio of Larry Fink that handles about $10 trillion portfolio for 3 countries respectively. I believe the Saudi Arabia, United States, and I believe in Japan. And we try to bring him to Nigeria to see how he can include Nigeria in his portfolio. And we are looking at it from that perspective, and a couple of others that are willing, that handles a big portfolio. And right now we are also working with the Chinese organization. We partnered to bring this investment summit to the highest level, where more Chinese investors will come to Nigeria. Last year we had about 6 ministers and few governors, but this year it's going to be bigger this time, because we have 2 countries coming together so that we can collaborate. And I believe Lagos State is going to go places with this idea. Lagos is the 3rd largest economy in Africa, and if care is not taken, Lagos State can even overtake Nigeria. The initiative of President Bola Tinubu, he had a roadmap. He built Lagos to where it is today. And if we have consistency of successive government in Lagos State for another 16 years, Lagos State will overtake Nigeria in terms of revenue stream. And particularly if the system is overhauled, we're going to get somewhere. And that is by taking care of the citizens. The bad citizens should be trained about life.
Okay, let me ask you, of all the caps that you wear, journalism, filmmaking, businessman, politician, which one are you most passionate about?
Journalism.
Okay, so what has been the greatest challenge for you, and what peculiar experience can you share with us in the course of your journey?
Dilegiwa, because I just couldn't come back to my country to practice my journalism, so I was stuck. So that's the only challenge. But I say this, and every man's step is ordered by God. So I'll just leave it at that, as a destiny of the journey of life. Took it to the next level, which is academics, which are also all dear to me. That's the second cap, right? Okay. And then the other one is that a producer and an actor. I produce movies, and we were the first Nollywood before the advent of.
So you then evolved into Netflix.
Oh yes, yes. Oh. So
what's the current movie we should be expecting to see?
Fela Anikulapo Kuti.
Okay, what role did you act?
I was supposed to play Fela's father. But as an old man, though, not as a young one. Yeah.
Okay, on a final note, what is your advice to the Nigerian youths? Nigeria has a teeming population of youth.
Patient. They have to be.
Your own journey as
They
a
have
youth
to be.
now where you
They
are.
have to be hardworking. They have to be patient. They must have a focus, and then they must also try to be creative. We can't rely 100% on government, and it is important to be self-reliant.
Well, thank you very much, Professor Tai Balofin, for coming on to the program. It's been an interesting conversation. You've given a good account of yourself, and we're proud of you. But you speak 21 languages too. I remember you saying that. We'll take you up on that another time. I hope we have a sequel to this interview. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Mayowa Oluwabi. Account of Stewardship will be back again next week with another interesting leader in a different sector. Thank you for watching.